My friends, here we go. The firestorm is unrelenting on the Ryder Cup picks by Zach Johnson. It's nonstop. We got Hank Haney chiming in, lots of people from everywhere really going after the pick, primarily the Justin Thomas pick. Now, I didn't beat the guy up that badly initially. And, you look at Zach Johnson's picks and you're like, all right, it is kind of a boys club. It's a spring break. It's a summer trip to across the pond here for the Ryder Cup. That's what it feels like. That's what's coming out. It's just, it's kind of like a guy's trip. Let's get all our buddies together and let's go play golf. That's what this is. That's exactly what he picked, because why wouldn't you pick the best player? That's what I don't understand. Do you earn your way? There's certain six players earn their way onto the Ryder Cup team, and that's it. They're in. 6 are picks. Now, who picks those? Did Zach Johnson really pick those, or did the 6 players pick them, or did the vice captains have it, or was it a combination of everybody? My question is this. How would you feel if you're Cam Young and Keegan Bradley right now, right this moment? One, Cameron Young was 9th on the list? Like years ago, he would have been an automatic pick. He would have made it. Now, and then they switched it and they gave the captain 4 picks where you would pick 3, and then after the tour championship, so during the playoffs, you would pick 3 of them. Then after the final event, you got 1 more pick. So in case somebody really got red hot, you can get that last pick. And, before that, whatever. But now you get 6 at the end. And you're like, wow, okay. So you get all the picks. So the top 6 make it, then you get 6 picks. So you got room for stuff. But the last time the 9th ranked player didn't get picked was like back in 2016. And that was like Bubba Watson, who was ranked 9th. Same spot Cameron Young is ranked in points. But Bubba he was injured. He had some, stuff going. So things were happening back then. So he wasn't even really, that didn't even really count. When you even count that, you'd have to, it really hasn't ever happened where a player that high on the points list, that well-deserving, did not get picked. So the question is, why did you not pick Cameron Young? That's one of the major questions. Is the guy showed major consistency all year. Like, he was Mr. Consistent. He's right there. He's in contention. Did he win? No. But he's consistent. So what? Where's Justin Thomas? He's inconsistent. He's Mr. Inconsistent. So, okay, I could see you wanting the guy, but he didn't earn. That's the thing. You could say you can't go without Justin, but yes, you can. You can. Do you want the best players? Do you want the players who earned it? Or do you want your buddies? And it's coming across, sadly, more and more and more, and everybody's kind of on the same page with this, is, oh, it's a boys' trip. It's a boys' club. It's a fraternity. It's a frat party is what this appears to be like. And let's get our boys and we'll be fine. And personally, I don't think Zach Johnson or anybody else had any inkling, an idea that the pushback would be this severe. I mean, it's coming from all directions. Everybody, from the internet, from you name, wherever. It's coming and it's nonstop. So if I am Cameron Young and Keegan Bradley right now, I'm furious. I'm mad, to be honest, because both of those guys, in my opinion, earned the right to be on the team, and both of them got passed up by guys outside. Like, they beat out other players that got picked. And these guys got bumped out. It wasn't like they're both outside looking in and they didn't get picked and they're like, I was 13th and 14th on the list. No, they were in the top 12 and they both got booted for Ricky Fowler, which I think is a fine pick. I probably also would have booted one of those guys for Ricky Fowler, to be honest. I probably would have done it. But I would not have picked Justin Thomas. No way. Like, not because I don't like Justin Thomas. Don't get this wrong. It's not, I don't have anything against the guy. I don't have an axe to grind. Look, he's a good dude, nice guy, great player. I'm a fan of it. I like watching him play. I like seeing him win, but he didn't play well. So what do you do when a guy's not playing well? When he didn't earn the spot, what do? Do you play him? It's like if the quarterback is throwing interceptions, you're going to bring in the backup. And if the backup is performing, guess what? The backup gets to play. And that's exactly what happened. You had your starter, whatever's going on, Justin, but you pulled him. Now, here's what I wanted to do is look at some stats together. You and me. We'll look at some stats to see if this is even justified. Because what's the most important stat in the Ryder Cup? What do you think it is? And it's debatable, right? What's the most important? One is going to be, according to Zach Johnson, it's that team camaraderie. That's baloney. I'll tell you what, that's baloney. People can get along. It's a competition, and I don't care who you are. There's 12 plus the vice captains and the captain and caddies. There's a lot of people. So if somebody is not easy to get along with, you don't have to hang out the whole time. It's not a requirement to like share a bunk bed at the Ryder Cup. That's not what you're doing. You're spending time together. But if I don't get along with this guy, let's say I'm on the team and I don't get along with Xander Schauffele, and we don't get along for whatever, right? Or what are we going to get in a fist fight? No, I don't think so. I'm going to go and I'm going to hang out with somebody that I do get along with. Like maybe Jordan Spieth and I connect. That's fine. Also, you're going to make new friendships and new relationships. And even if I don't know somebody, we could still find camaraderie in the battle together. You're in the battle, you're in the fight, you're in the challenge, you're in the game. You're going to develop relationships that you wouldn't otherwise have. Keegan has been in these situations before, and from what you could see when he played with Phil Mickelson in the past, like that was exciting golf. It was exciting. Everybody loved it. It was great to watch those guys go at it. Now, you're not giving Cameron Young an opportunity. Why? I don't know. Is there what's wrong with him? Who cares? Guy earned his spot. He earned his spot. Well, is there a way that Zach can undo his pick and say, all right, I changed my mind? Or maybe there could be a mysterious injury. I hurt my back. I can't play. Pick someone else. I don't know if that's going to happen. If I got picked, I'd play. But, man, it's got to be tough to be Justin because you know everybody's talking about you right now. So, one, you're going to have like this chip on your shoulder and you're going to go out there and you got an axe to grind yourself because people think you don't deserve it. So you're like, okay, let's do it. You can change people's mind through this number one stat. That's putting. If you make putts, it doesn't matter. That's what people remember. It's what people are going to remember you by. So let's look at that stat, okay? Let's just look at that and see what's going on. So let's just go to our stats here on the PGA Tour website. And we want strokes gained putting. So let's go. Let's look at putting because you would want a great putter on your team. And Zach says they have stat guys looking at this stuff. So strokes gained putting. That's what you want. You want to gain strokes putting. So you're going to go with that. Well, Xander Schauffele's 4 on the list. Okay, cool. You got him and Homa and okay, Sam Burns. But let's search for the guy that you picked. Justin Thomas. Justin Suh, no. Justin Lower, no. Justin Rose, can't pick him. And here's our guy, Justin Thomas, 137th on the list. strokes gained putting. That's the guy you picked 137th in putting this past year. And you picked him over, the guy I think should have made it, Keegan Bradley. Oh, because he's way down the list at 21. Oh, my goodness. He's pretty good putter. Keegan's an amazing putter, but you didn't pick him. You picked Justin. All right. So maybe we need to look at a different stat. How about just total putting? Like total putting. Let's just look at it. I would imagine it's probably the same thing. Keegan's even better. He's 20th in total putting. And I'm guessing Justin Thomas is going to be probably in a similar spot. Let's see. Yeah, 147. So that's what you went with for your stat there, because we would think that Keegan Bradley should have gotten in over Justin Thomas, because Keegan, as you can see, was number 11th on the list and in Ryder Cup points, and Cameron Young was number 9. And if we're looking at these players here on the PGA Tour, we're talking about, you want a guy that's going to be playing great. So I just go to the PGA Tour site and I look at players, like what have they done during the year? Justin Thomas. Just go here. Let's just look at his latest and greatest over the past year. Let's look at his results here. This is the guy you picked. Nothing against him. These are just reality numbers. Here are the last number of events. Wyndham Championship, he got 12th. He almost made the playoffs, but he didn't because he finished 71st. And before that, if you had made the cut, you wouldn't have finished 71st the next week. But you missed the cut. Then you played the Open Championship and you shot 82.71, right? Then you finished 60th. Then before that at Rocket Mortgage, where Ricky won, you got cut. Then you finished 9th, pretty good. Then you missed the cut at the U.S. Open, shooting a 73 and then an 81. So something's going on. We just don't know. Then cut, 65, 14. I mean, you go down the list. That is Justin Thomas. And the guy who should have gotten picked, who didn't get picked, was our guy, Keegan Bradley. And so let's just compare his numbers compared to what we just saw. This is the guy we passed up. Zach Johnson passed up Keegan Bradley, because this is really the guy that should have gotten the pick. Oh, he got it 9th at the Tour Championship. Well, guess what? He made it all the way to the Tour Championship and finished 9th. Then he got a 29th. Then he got a 43rd. Then he missed the cut. Then he got 21st. Oh, but then he won. The week before he got cut. Okay, U.S. Open. 30th, 29th, 35th. Go. 28. Like top 30 in the top 30-ish. Then he cut 10, cut second. Had a pretty solid year. So this is our guy. He actually had 2 wins this year. He won at the Zozo as well. So a consistently solid year for Keegan Bradley. And that's the guy that Zach, primarily passed up. And then why wouldn't you consider? Why not consider Bryson DeChambeau? Now, Zach had said, we don't get to see those guys play. That's the biggest line of baloney I've ever heard. That's like when my kids were 6 years old and I asked them a question and they were lying to me. That's the kind of logic that they would use. That's what Zach Johnson is doing. He must think we're just idiots, because that just doesn't fly. How in the world can you say you don't get to? You could go to a LIV event. As a matter of fact, they welcome the media there, they would give you everything you want. If you're the captain of the Ryder Cup team and you say, hey, can I come to an event? What do you think they're going to say? No. They're going to say, come on. They're going to give you the royal treatment because they want their players to be considered. They love the fact that Brooks Koepka nearly qualified. And if you look, the LIV players only got to play 4 events the last couple years. The guys who have been on LIV the whole time only have the 4 majors this year that they played. And then, some of them had like 2 extra from the year before, or depending on when they joined LIV. So most of them had 4 to 6 events max. So Bryson had some points, and Phil was like next on the list. He was like 40th in Ryder Cup points. Now, I don't think you're going to consider Phil, but he was, why wouldn't you look at Bryson, who just shot a 58? Wouldn't you want that type of power on your team, that type of length? Think of this. Combine his distance with somebody's putting. Oh, with Xander's putting, Max Homa's putting, even Bryson's putting. You don't shoot a 58 if you're not putting well. So to say, oh, I don't get to see those guys play, you get to see them play. You can watch a LIV event. It's not that difficult. It's on the app. It's on the CW. You can find it. So to say that is utterly ridiculous. It's easy to go to events, easy to watch them play, easy to talk to them. And they all live in Florida for the most part. Some live in Dallas or wherever. But it's easy to get a hold and see those guys play. So to say that is just ridiculous. These picks, if you would have picked, Zach, one player, not necessarily from LIV, but if you would have picked one player, Cam Young or Keegan Bradley, just one of those guys, I don't think you would be getting the pushback that you're getting, the firestorm that's coming your way. But to miss and leave both of those guys out, as well as others, that's what I think the problem is that you left both of them out. Because now, for sure, it's 100% a boys' golf trip overseas to play in the Ryder Cup. That's what this is. The only thing you got going for you is for them. It's not the strongest European field we've ever seen. However, you do have some strong players. Look, you got Hovland, you got Rahm, you got Rory. So you've got like 4-5 guys that are really strong players, but then after that, it's kind of weak. So you can hide a guy like Justin pretty well. You can kind of hide him, like, okay, we're gonna put him over here. Like Ricky's playing well, so I don't think you're not gonna have to hide him. And hopefully you don't have to hide Justin. Hopefully his game gets resurrected somehow. But with all the golf is a fragile sport. It's incredibly fragile. So when you get this type of negativity coming at you, it can kind of ruin a dude, honestly. It can mess him up. Guys have, just remember Hunter Mahan, after what happened to him, he chunks the shot in the U.S., he kind of disappeared. Now, I'm not going to say that's because of that, but it's right around the same time that he kind of started disappearing. So golf is fragile. And when you throw a guy like that in the fire, who's already kind of struggling, I think sometimes it would be better for Justin if he didn't get picked. If he had the time he got married, he's got life going on outside of golf. Personally, I think for him, it's better if he's not on the team because it sparks that fire in somebody to work harder so that they can make it on their own. And Cam Young and Keegan Bradley made it. They made it. And you didn't pick them. That's whacked, in my opinion. I mean, I'm not going to say I'm rooting for the Europeans, but I hope you just don't kind of skate away and get away with this. Because it's messed up. It's messed up. I'm disappointed. If I'm Keegan, I'm on the phone with Greg Norman. Hello? You got a spot for me? I'm out. I'm calling Cam Young. If I'm Greg Norman, I'm already having conversations with Cam Young and Keegan Bradley. I'm like, get out here. These guys don't care about you. Get out. And I'd bolt if I were them. I'd be like, forget you guys. I'm out. Like, go somewhere where you're appreciated. If they're not going to pick you when you earn it, forget it. You're never going to break into a club. And quite frankly, you don't want to be in that club. If that's what it's like, you don't want to be in it. That's how I feel. If that's what it's like, it's just not worth it. So sometimes not getting what you deserve is the best thing for you. So maybe, hopefully, the best thing for Cam Young and Keegan Bradley is that they didn't get picked. Maybe they got saved from something. Who knows? I don't know. I sure hope those guys, I know that I'm sure they're furious. I just hope those guys come out better because of this. And I think they will. But Zach, that's whacked. Let me know your thoughts. See you guys later.